This is the Aftermarket Radio Network.
Welcome, everyone, to yet another episode of Diagnosing the Aftermarket A to Z. I'm Matt Fanslow, and don't have a good day. Have a great day. Today, I have the pleasure of essentially having my mentor on.
Oh, dear.
Again.
Too much pressure.
Yes, you put a lot of pressure on me to have you on again. No, just kidding. Very welcome addition to this episode. The one, the only founder. I'm going to call you president or
founder
presidente?
Of what? Yeah, maybe, possible. El Presidente. I've always wanted to be that. I hear if I had a banana republic, that would be really cool to be the El Presidente.
There, well, now you are. Done.
We've been actually having so much fun here this week.
Well, before we start talking about that, let's get a word from our sponsor, NAPA Autotech Training. So, are you looking for the right training provider that offers cutting-edge courses to hone your automotive skills? Well, let NAPA Autotech take you to the next level. Go to napaautotech.com for more details about classes near you. If you don't know, seriously though.
I'll bet you some of your listeners don't know. Maybe you've never listened to the podcasts I've done in the last 9 years.
Well, let's get back then. It's the El Presidente.
El Presidente Carm Capriotto.
There you go, of the Aftermarket Radio Network. And he's on this podcast right now.
Well, honored to be here, man.
Well, thanks for coming.
You got a great show, man. Lots of great listeners. Good topics. Now, where do you come up with all these topics?
I guess.
You don't sleep?
It's lack of sleep. Just inspired, I guess, by the world, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Just keep your ears and eyes open to the world around you.
Sometimes it might be a song lyric or a movie quote, movie plot, other just conversations at the shop. A lot of times that's an inspiration, is just what's going on at our shop and what everyone's talking about, or maybe an article that pops up on my feeds.
As a side note, I have to say this. So we've been here. This is our 4th day at the NAPA EV Ready Training Center in Canton, Ohio. And we were heading out to dinner, Tracy, you and I, and you were on your phone texting. And you said to me, this is so cool, I've diagnosed more cars while I'm here than I would if I was at the shop. How does that happen?
Well, it's not just stuff from the shop. I mean, I try to help other shops too. Local shops will shoot me a text message or a photo of something they're looking at or data, and I try to lead them down the right road. This morning was a local shop struggling with a no start that sounds to me like a high-speed CAN network concern. So I gave him a battery of tests to do, and we'll see if he does them or not, or if the car ends up at the shop. I don't know. But
how much do you charge for that?
Thank you.
That's the good answer, by the way.
I mean, honestly, I feel like if I help them, someday I may need their help, and I sometimes get scared on what that might mean. It might not have anything to do with cars.
Yeah.
And hopefully over time that I've shown to have their back professionally and personally when it is appropriate, that they'll be there for me or mine. So selfless for selfish means, I guess.
Well, thank you for being here. NAPA Autotech Training is a great sponsor of your podcast. We sure appreciate that. And then we get invited to be here for a week to listen to Bill Weaver. You're the technician. I'm not. And that's okay that I'm not, because my podcast is all about leadership and business growth and all the great things you need to know to be a great person. And of course, I've been around this industry my entire life. But this new technology, this EV stuff, I paid attention in the theory classes like I was a kid in a candy store, because I said to myself, I got to learn what this is about. And I thought I really actually left with a little bit of a grasp on what it is that you guys have to be concerned about, how these cars go forward. And I learned something. Did you?
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
To be honest, I mean this. I don't know how you phrase it so it doesn't sound pompous or arrogant, but gosh darn it, sometimes it's nice to go to a class where the instructor is knowledgeable, the content is very good, and we'll get back to that a little bit. I have more to say, but I knew more than I thought I did, or I'm on the right track. That means a lot. Like if you go to a class and you don't learn anything, it's not bashing on the class. It's been either properly trained up to this point, or your concept of what's going on and how things work has been fairly accurate, that by itself is worth a lot. Because if you learn something, it's you didn't know, or what you did know or thought you knew was wrong.
Just to shake your head to confirm, solidify what you knew, but in a deeper way, because now someone is giving it back to you in a little different form and says, I've always had that. Now I got it deeper.
And there absolutely was stuff to learn. One thing was concerning ghost voltage many years ago, whatever that means, but probably pushing 15. Ghost voltage was something that I had heard about and discussed with. So my best friend, Harvey Chan, was doing a class with a Toyota tech, and Edwin, and it was really focused on the Prius at the time, Generation 2 Prius, as it really just came out. They did absolutely talk about Gen 1, but focused heavily on Gen 2. And it was as good a class as I've ever been in. And it's not because he was my friend. It was, I would say, we didn't really become friends till later on after I took that class. It was really set me up to be in this NAPA class and as knowledgeable as I am. Another industry developer was asking questions about ghost voltage, and it was a misconception at the time. So their idea was a misconception of the way the car manufacturer, in this case Toyota, is testing itself for insulation, meaning a hybrid vehicle, and I guess to a degree, and definitely I guess to a degree, the electric vehicle, just EV, pure EV. You have this high voltage system inside of a vehicle with some low voltage. Mm-hmm. They're not supposed to really touch. They're not supposed to really be connected. Now, understand, theoretically, we got some stuff going on there that I'm glossing over, but please, for the sake of discussion, they're not touching. But the way they test for that is what the developer was seeing and had labeled that ghost voltage. But that was not technically what it was. The system was working the way it was supposed to be working, and that's what they were seeing. So ghost voltage just got set off to the side, didn't really think about it much until this week. It comes up again and my BS meter starts twitching like, oh no. But Bill and Jim, the part of the development team, backed up what they're saying, and they defined ghost voltage, and then they demonstrated where it was. Not just for me, it was part of the class. I did not raise my hand and call BS or anything like that, but my meter was twitching. Backs it up. It's like, oh, all right.
It was there it wasn't, but now it's real.
It could be there. It's not normal.
Right.
It could be there. And this is why. And this is how you eliminate it as a possibility. So there's tools, techniques that we can use to remove that as a possibility and sending us down a rabbit hole.
Right. To your point, anyone who's going to go to training to a class that they think they don't need or that they've been to in the past, and you can learn just one thing.
Yes.
Whoa.
That one thing, and including knowing or finding out and getting reinforcement or confidence that what you understood was true. That one thing has to have as much weight to you. It has to be as meaningful to you as the tech or whoever, the attendee sitting next to you or 2 rows in front of you or behind you, who's taking away dozens of things and just feeling overwhelmed with all this information. It has to have that level of value to you.
When I think about the theory and the relaxed nature of that theory class that Bill had, there was a lot of interaction. Then you go into the bays, and you start touching, to your point about the networking, to go to a mostly hands-on class, especially in this whole new world of EVs. I saw some great interaction here. I saw some great friendships that'll be built for a long time. I saw people that were so deep into EV battery stuff that I don't think we're ever in a class, but it grounded them.
Yep, backed up and reinforced what they thought they already knew, or course corrected them a little bit. What you thought was true was applicable enough for you to be successful, but not technically true, and now it's the technical truth.
Any training is good training. I mean, we've heard that before, but not necessarily it is all good.
Any accurate training is good training.
That's a big word.
Right? I guess you hang around me, I wrestle a lot with accuracy and applicability. So I suppose we should say any reasonably accurate class is valuable and worth it.
But there's no Yelp rating on that.
Not really. I mean, it would be rough. Who is going to decide? Hopefully over time, it proves itself to be accurate. If it's inaccurate, word spreads and either the developers fix it, course correct, or shred it, or nobody goes to it anymore.
Right.
And you understand that it's no longer accurate or never was accurate. And that's not like trashing on people. Again, it's not trashing educators or developers. There can't be
that many out there.
I think you might be stunned.
Oh.
To really follow that up, that thought process up, as an example, and I know I've used this example before, but it's the best example I have and that I can think of and have witnessed, that for the longest time, the behavior of the catalytic converter was explained by the behavior of the oxygen sensor. And the idea was the reason we switched the oxygen sensor, the old school zirconia, whatever, not AFR, the reason we switched that rich and lean, high and low, is because we had to vary the feed gas into the catalytic converter so that it could oxidize and then reduce, and then oxidize and then reduce. Turns out that's BS. That's not what's going on. But that was taught by very, very, very smart people for a while, because that's the data they had.
Right.
And it made sense. It was just kind of accepted until you have a group that had better test equipment, better means, more time to invest, more theory to work with, showed that no, the cat really wants a steady feed gas, steady exhaust. They don't really want it to vary. The reason they switched the oxygen sensor is because they had to. That was how they could maintain a stoic mixture. So, I mean, they can't be trashing them. It's science. That's the way science works, right? You do your best to figure out how something works, come up with a hypothesis and test theory. It's taught, it's accepted, and then maybe it gets disproven. That's how that works.
So a 101 course could evolve into a 102 because the learning is always taking place.
Always.
We're always making things better and different, so technology is on the move. So just because you attended a class back then, and then you take a new advanced or a 102, 103, 104 version of it, a lot of it's changed because, to your point, they've learned new things about the products, about the voltage, about the theory behind. I mean, I can see that if you're a lifelong learner, as I call it, a perpetual student, you should always wanting to be in learning mode.
Yeah. Well, and if you're a developer trying to essentially reverse engineer a system or a component, how it operates, you may not be able to find a whole lot of information from the manufacturer of it for the theory. So you're kind of reverse engineering it. Your accuracy is only going to be what your tools and equipment and theory that you know can lead you to. And that might be completely enough to fix a lot of freaking cars. But then maybe the manufacturer of that component, or maybe some studies are done by an entity with way more resources, comes out with some information, papers, whatever, that really explain what's going on. And then it's like, and then you course correct, you modify the curriculum. And again, if it's applicable, if it's so far over everyone's head, so what if you know this to be really how it works? It's still not going to help you fix the car, whatever. We're back to accuracy versus applicability. But back to this class, this EV class, is one thing I just keeps popping up in my head, is just really almost like a perfect marriage of individuals and content, and then the venue, the delivery. It's special. It's like watching Top Gear with Hammond and May and Clarkson. We're over at another studio, and you had this guy named Dean Martin over there.
Yeah. I
mean, you're back to Martin and Lewis. Like, it's just, it falls together. It works. And that's what we have here. Is you have in the background a gentleman that hopefully you get to talk to later, Jim Przybylski, as part of the development. And then Bill Weaver is, I think, part of development and the presenter. And you have a perfect team in development, and you have this presenter that is perfect for the material because he's passionate about it. He's knowledgeable about it. Like, the first day was a lot of safety, which that put a lot of people to sleep, but it wasn't, because yes, he's presenting the danger involved and to have a healthy respect and to protect yourself, be it with PPE or just using your head, following procedures, but then referencing things that go bad in the real world. And I don't mean go bad like somebody touched a high voltage and died. I mean, referencing why you might be doing this to do this repair that happens all the time. That means they're in it. They didn't just sit and read a bunch of articles online and copy and paste and put together this PowerPoint with generic images off Google. They were doing it.
Okay, so I'm in EVs. I bought some gloves. I opened them up. We all passed them around and tested them, and I'm okay. 6 months later, you're not, because there's a...
Potentially not, yeah.
Potentially.
Yep.
And I think a lot of...
Voltage and potentially.
Whoa. God, stop being so funny. I listened to the PPE part, and I was looking around the room to try to find out if they thought this was nonsense. And just because we're here at NAPA and they're trying to cover their butt and do all the right kind of training, that Bill went into some depth on that. And then I saw some videos that scared the crap out of me. And I think you can't ignore the littlest thing. And I don't care what it is. Even if it has nothing to do with electricity, there's certain right ways to do things. Yeah. But this whole electricity thing, the electrified vehicle, is something we have to respect in a different way. It's like there's shortcuts, but there's not. Don't start out with shortcuts. Learn what you can and cannot do before you decide this is the old way. It's my grandfather's Oldsmobile still. I'm okay.
There's a difference between messing up on a, we'll just say non-EV vehicle or a non-high voltage system where you might smash a finger or break a hand or a foot or wreck the car. And then there's high voltage where this isn't a scare tactic. This is just the reality of it. Is if you're grossly negligent, it might be the last mistake you ever make.
Grossly.
That just, like, again, we don't see a lot of this going on you don't see a lot of stuff on the internet or anything, news reports where technicians are dying, but we're seeing more and more and more EVs in our bays and more hybrids. More and more shops are not turning them away anymore. They used to. So they're getting involved. What's the training level? What's the attention of the tech? So we start creating more and more situations where bad things can happen. And honestly, it's kind of back to, I think there's a For the Record coming out, just RTFM. Read the manual. That might be safety step number 1. Read the service information. How am I supposed to do this? And then follow it. So many other industries are very much tighter protocols. Auto repair is not. And we take a lot of things for granted. We've got away with it for a long time.
Well, just continue to be an advocate for this.
I think everybody, especially they go through a course like this, many others, you do. You leave with a sense of
you come back
humbled and a new respect for what you're dealing with. And just, especially if a management can see it, hear it, and go, oh, okay. The danger level is different. There's inherent danger in pretty much whatever you do.
NAPA Autotech training sessions are being conducted day and night in a town near you. This training caters to every level within your organization, be it a mechanical assistant, a mechanical specialist, a technology specialist, or a driver safety calibration specialist. Imagine a one-stop shop training partner in NAPA Autotech that will lead your team to a path to greatness. Autotech's entry-level Build-A-Tech classes convert the untapped potential of your new hires into money-making mechanical specialists. Autotech's higher-level tech update classes introduce specialists to the world of ever-changing technologies, which prevents your shop from getting technologically stagnant. Remember, if you're not moving forward, you're falling behind. And, turning to the front of the store, the Autotech Service Advisor class is an awesome way to hone your client advocate skill set, ultimately benefiting the customer through an improved vehicle repair experience. But it doesn't stop there. Imagine an electric vehicle class that takes your specialist well past the mundane, yet necessary safety topics. Well, it's here. Autotech's EV Ready Training is a week-long curriculum that takes participants through a hands-on experience involving hybrids and electric vehicles. The session kicks off with the use of PPE and proper tooling while touching on required OSHA regulations. Then, the students dive into the lab vehicles to gain knowledge of the common high-voltage components on EV and hybrid vehicles and their function. Attendees will be taken on a path exposing them to different electric vehicle manufacturers to compare component form and location. Additionally, Information about Level 1 and Level 2 charging systems will be included, along with a quick look at DC to DC charging. The operation and maintenance of subsystems are explored, including the different modes of Tesla operations, and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Commit to taking your business to the next level with NAPA Autotech training.
Of all the people that are in your network, you have a huge network of fellow diagnosticians, technology specialists, mechanical specialists. What are they saying about the future and EVs and repair and PPE? Are you guys saying, it's not important? Or are you if you will, fraternity type wise saying, hey, we got to pay attention to this?
I think it's important when it's important, right? And I think everybody accepts and understands whatever the inherent danger may be in whatever they're doing, and therefore takes the steps they need to take. Or if they're not, they're accepting what could happen and it ain't good. That it's just constantly in discussions, other than we're just seeing more and more of it. More and more of this stuff's showing up in our bays, where maybe a couple of years ago we'd see, half a dozen or so truly electric vehicles. And then lately it's more and more, we're seeing maybe one or two a week. And it's maybe we're not dealing with the high voltage side. It's the other stuff that goes bad on them. But, it's read the service information. You cannot use your experience on all these other car lines that were non-high voltage on these newer vehicles. And honestly, it doesn't even matter if it's high voltage or not, EV or not. As the systems come out, they're doing different things that you won't know about until you read the service info. So you might learn the hard way that the brake caliper, there's no actual parking brake. They're using the regular brake calipers and just applying them hydraulically in certain situations, which may be after you have it up in the air, the wheel's off and the caliper's hanging. Now it engages them and pops pistons out or whatever.
We saw a Tesla that was disco.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's interesting simply because cars are becoming more and more personable.
I love Tesla. I never really sat in one. I had a ride in one. And then after we did the other day here on the lot of Star Community College, Bill Weaver goes and puts the car in some crazy mode. And I don't know, track mode, but all the music and the lights and the...
Yeah. Sorry. I think it's disco mode.
Something like that. Yeah. My big takeaway, and I want to share this with your audience, when he told me that people will get together, they'll sync their cars, put them in a circle, and put them in this, if you will, light music. It's playing tunes. They get them all together, and they all play. It's all synced. And it finally hit me. If you own a Tesla, it's almost like a lifestyle.
And you get to personalize your car. And I think the big manufacturers we're going to see this on non-EV vehicles, that you're going to be able to more personalize your vehicle. It's just something no one ever thought about. Elon does. That's the way he thinks. How can I make this car a lot more like a cell phone? There we go.
Yeah.
He did it.
Or fun.
Exactly. Because honestly, I'm guessing when you and I grew up, and it was tapering off when I was going through high school, definitely tapering off. But typically, young men wanted to get the smallest, lightest car with the biggest engine, because when they hit the accelerator, they wanted to go. And maybe it would race, maybe not, but that was kind of the thing. My kids, most of the kids I know, maybe one or two in the high schools now care. All they care about is the car gets them to where they need to go and their phone can link to it. That's what they care about. So it just makes sense to be able to better personalize this vehicle to them. And now the car's a statement beyond the paint job of who they are. Well, I guess the paint job and the bumper stickers of who they are as a person.
And if you don't like your white car, you can change the color on the dash.
I'm sure that's coming.
Maybe not on the outside, but you can change the color on the inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I was really fascinated, and it really got me almost more romantically involved in Tesla, because I started to realize it's just not transportation. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. And to the listeners, Carmen and Tracy's experience with Tesla up to this point was one single Uber ride in an M Model 3. And they said he got on it once.
Yeah.
And they were impressed with the acceleration, but I'm pretty sure he didn't really get on it, which makes sense, right? You can't have Uber drivers giving people that type of a ride.
Right.
But this week they got a chance to witness a Model Y in track mode, and the hammer dropped. There's probably a video floating around of that, of the reaction. They also got to see service mode and how many things you can do just through the display with a Tesla in service mode. And then, of course, like we said, the personalizing factors. So I think your minds were blown, as they should be.
They were. And then everyone started to talk about Plaid and what's that all about. And wasn't it Bill says he's got to come up with an inertia software. What do you call it? E-Force or something like that?
There's a scan tool that's got a built-in accelerometer and plug it. I don't even know that we really have to plug it in, but just set it up where it will measure the G-forces that are put on whoever's inside of it when these things accelerate.
All right. So we're not here to do a commercial on Tesla.
No, he's going to do the same with his.
Yeah. But the point is that this almost went beyond training. It went beyond theory. It went beyond friendships. And you started to now touch these vehicles that maybe as a diagnostician, technology specialist, you have never done. And now you see all these different models, all these different uniquenesses, taking them apart, putting them back together, playing with frunks and trunks. We all know what they are, but we didn't know that there's idiosyncrasies with every car on all of these systems.
Well, we might find ourselves as independent shops, especially with like second owners, third owners, where we may become the educators on what their vehicles can do.
Yeah. My point about that lifestyle is if a Tesla comes in your shop and you get that part of what their experience with Tesla is, you'll have a much better relationship with that person because they're giving you their lifestyle to repair, to fix. And if you've ever had that experience like we just had, you'd say, man, having fun with that car. You would probably say something, ever put it in this mode, get together with other friends that have them and light up the night sky. And if you don't know, you can't engage.
Right. And I kind of backing up a little bit is you're being here, you're in a much similar situation as many in more of a managerial position.
Yeah.
That you're probably not working on vehicles often or at all. Maybe you have a background in auto repair from years ago. Maybe you're sitting in this class and maybe wondering like, why am I sitting in this class? I'm not going to be working on these things. But as you've been speaking over and over here to one degree or another, the healthy respect you have, not just for the vehicles, and not just for the technology, and not just for the class developers, and not just for the presenters and all that, the techs working on these things, because I don't know that there's a single tech in here, myself included, that when I get out of here, I'm going to only really be working on electric vehicles or hybrid vehicles. It's still going to be everything. Or even if there's somebody in here that really only works on one or two car lines, it will be most likely everything of that car line, non-EV or non-hybrid, as well as whatever EV stuff comes in. So that respect of the breadth of knowledge, that swath of knowledge and skills technicians need to have. Who else does that? What other profession can you think of off the cuff that really does that?
I love your point. And we saw in this particular class that's going through this week, we not only saw diagnosticians, technology specialists, we saw their bosses.
Yes.
And to your point, where are the shop managers and or potential service advisors to learn this theory? And where are the owners that want to come in and say, we need to head down this road. Now I have a brand new respect. They may have stopped turning wrenches 10 years ago. From their friends, they know we got to do EVs. We got to be more in the deeper end of the pool. We're doing hybrids, but I want to prepare myself. And that's what this course can also do for you. It's not a purposeful prepare the owner class, but it's a prepare the owner class.
Absolutely. Yeah. I guess the pitch would be the sales pitch. If there's a such thing as a sales pitch in this, it's really just the logic in this is you see the classes available. Maybe instead of getting one seat, get two. And you as a manager or owner, tag along. And I get it. You're maybe not going to be applying this directly, but you need to know too what they're up against. And it's not just sitting in the classroom, watching a PowerPoint and watching an extremely good presenter presenting at the front of the classroom. Like this is top tier presentation. After the presentation, usually, whether that's an hour or two or whatever, you're now going into the shop and it's hands on. You're putting your hands on these components. You're seeing how the components are laid out and where they are on the vehicle in a very practical manner.
Yeah.
And again, you as a manager, so what? You're thinking, so what? But you need to know what your tech's up against.
Yeah. I got a great analogy. An owner sends their service advisor to training. It's 3 days. The service advisor comes back refreshed, excited, all new stuff, theory, better way to communicate, better way to have a relationship. And the owner's watching them and saying, whoa. We don't do that stuff here. If the owner doesn't invest in that training, know what's going on, spend time seeing the curriculum, or even worked with the trainer, then they're going to actually have wasted their money. Mm-hmm. Think about the fact that if the owner didn't come here, caught the PPE section, understood how you got to lift a Tesla, understood what kind of equipment will be needed down the road, and the technician comes back and now has to convince the person with the money to do this stuff, you'll never get your money for the training because you'll never be able to write the SOPs, the processes, the systems, that whole thing when it comes to being sure we do EVs right.
Techs come back with a list, like a grocery list. This is what we need. We need to get a megger, milliohm meter. We need high voltage gloves. We need leather gloves to go over them. Cotton gloves inside would be kind of nice to aid in taking them off. Means to test the gloves' integrity. And the shop owner wasn't here. The owner, whoever signed in the checks, wasn't here to see all that was involved and why.
Wait a minute. My wife's got some rubber gloves at home. She keeps them under the sink in the kitchen.
I'm sure they will provide some marginal protection.
Key word was marginal.
Very, very marginal. You won't be able to immediately see the burns. I don't know.
It's a life-changing level of repair that we have to be prepared for as we move on. And, what's the next frontier but after EVs? Flying cars? I mean, how are we going to...
We already have flying cars. We got helicopters. I don't find it to be reasonable.
Just checking.
I think it's autonomous vehicles are definitely coming. I think a lot of it's kind of retro too, in that this class is a very good proof of concept for this type of delivery. And now it can go back, if you will, to maybe scope classes. Because sure, you go to a scope class anywhere. I don't care. Pick your favorite conference, be it classroom, hands-on, whatever. It's the same issue. If the person signing the checks doesn't go with, they just see the tech coming back high as a kite on seminar high, excited to get back in the bay. But hey, you know what? This scope we've had for 30 years probably isn't going to cut it anymore. This is the one that seemed to be everybody's favorite. This one seemed to be the one the instructors really pushed, and they don't work for that company, so they don't have an agenda. They're looking at the cost and going like, well, geez, how often are you going to use it? And instead of coming to the class and, okay, this is what they recommend and why. And then also discovering that not only do I need to provide this equipment and training, I have to give them the ability to put it into practice. You can't just come back and start very figuratively speaking, cracking the whip to just keep that production up because you went to this class. Now let's see it. Well, that's taken longer than the way you used to do it. Let me just order some parts instead of giving it some grace period to put into practice to where now it is showing up to be faster or at the very least more accurate.
You just said a ton there.
I get that a lot.
We can go on for 2 hours about the parts cannon.
True. Shops still have them.
Well, thanks for coming down here with us and hanging out at the NAPA Ready Training Center. I know it's your show, and I'm honored to be on with you. But it was extra special. Thank God that we did an episode, because I think being in here and capturing this moment and hearing you talk and seeing some of the excitement on your face, because you loved the lunches.
I mean, they were fine.
And
spicy.
Did we feed you well at night?
Yes.
Just checking.
Yes. Excellent.
You had a Boston steak last night.
Yeah, I didn't know what the heck it was.
And the extra mushrooms.
Yeah, she just said it was better than in New York. And you guys didn't throw the gauntlet down when she said it. So,
all right.
Being New Yorkers.
Besides going to training, you can also have some fun afterwards.
Yes. That should be almost mandatory.
Yesterday, we went to a place that had this football thing looking on the top of its roof.
It's true. I would have been stunned that you guys weren't
Okay, yes. So we went to the
more
gym.
Familiar.
We went to the Jim Kelly hand thing on the football. We looked at his bust. We looked at all the Bills that were enshrined in the Hall of Fame here.
These Buffalo
Canton.
Bill fans would not walk down the Super Bowl champion hallway. They walked around it.
Oh my God. All right. Yeah, there were some embarrassing moments while we were there.
I don't think it was embarrassing. It's one of them things like you saw a couple of times. The Minnesota Vikings were a dominant team, went to 4 Super Bowls, not unlike the Buffalo Bills. Mm-hmm. Lost every time.
I know we did them in a row. Well,
the team can't suck to do that.
But I did see the short video clip on the biggest comeback in NFL history, and that was Bills in a wild card game when Jim Kelly was injured, and I was in that stadium. So it was so cool to be able to watch that. But it was a fun little diversion that we ended up going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and the instructors here, Bill, wanted people to have a chance to go experience that. Structured the class times, really putting it into the attendees' control, if you will, that we have this to get done. Like, you're here to learn this stuff. We're going to get this done, but there's time we can carve out so that you can go enjoy this while you're here. I mean, that's brilliant and thoughtful. I'm really happy he did it because I don't know if I would have went out of my way to go to the NFL Hall of Fame, but now that we've gone, I'm glad I did. Like learning about the beginnings, like the early, looking at their uniforms and just what they had to all go through and how many different teams there used to be over time that sprang up, folded. I found that wildly fascinating.
Yeah, that was the beginnings of the NFL.
Yeah, and then, of course, my stomach started churning when we were looking at all these Super Bowl rings. Like, it wasn't enough to just win the stupid thing. Now you need this anchor on your finger.
Remind me of the number of diamonds in Kansas City's ring. 609 diamonds in the Kansas City ring from last year. How many carats? It was 16 carats, I think. And what I found fascinating was they had a video of the ring. And they described to you what all the diamond clusters meant when they started, the number of points they had. So every diamond that was on the ring had a meaning.
It's all fun stuff, but they could have probably used like cubic zirconia or something.
I know. It was huge. It was like you have to put it in the palm of your hand. I don't know how they could wear it. I think they had to put 2 fingers in it just to wear it. Oh, my. Yeah. Anyway, so we have had a hell of a time, learned a lot. Respected the fact out of this EV Training Center, Bill and the entire NAPA team. We thank them for having us out here. Thank you for having me on your show.
Anytime.
Okay. You never invite me much.
Oh, you know. You just come in and take over.
Did you have me on just because Tracy said so?
Essentially. She wouldn't let it go. And then she was hiding the Diet Mountain Dew.
My dad's not on the podcast enough, so you need to have him on your show, right? He only does 4 a week. Oh, my God.
Thanks for coming. And thank you to our sponsor, NAPA Autotech Training. Thank you all for listening. And if you like these episodes or have ideas for new episodes, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm really easy to find. Just ask the hackers. You can email me at mattfonslopodcast@gmail.com or find me on social media and message me that way. And thank you to the Aftermarket Radio Network for, putting up with me.
You're welcome.
You've been listening to Matt Fanslow, diagnosing the aftermarket A to Z on the Aftermarket Radio Network. Follow Matt on your favorite listening app. He's very interested in what you have to say. Let him know what you'd like him to cover and come on the show. Matt is all for advancing the aftermarket. Find Matt Fanslow on social media and connect or on aftermarketradionetwork.com.